Welcome back. Waves behind the Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, and waves out on the racetrack, and problems with Mike Harmon in the 38. He'll make his way behind the wall and into the garage. Blown motor on that car. 1 to go is what the officials are letting us know until we go back to green. Bobby Gerhart looking for his 5th win in the Daytona ARCA 200, and that would be record setting. An impressive run. Right behind him, Mark Mitchell. Jeremy Clements in the number 3, currently in 3rd position. David Reagan and Damon Lusk, your top 5 as we are about to restart. We'll have 6 laps to go in this one. And NASCAR race day, built by the Home Depot, will be shown immediately following the ARCA 200. And again, there will be 6 laps of racing to go when they get the green flag. Phil, do the math there. How many miles will that be? 6 laps?
It would be 15 miles.
15 miles of racing remaining. Kenny, can you stay in 15 miles?
That one was so easy, I was going to let Phil figure it for me.
Hey, remember though, we will not finish this ARCA race under caution. If we would have caution, we would have a green, white checker finish.
Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse. You got to remind me of that.
You know, that's a car owner talking right there.
Normally not something that we tell people. We try to keep that, you know, so that we don't have to experience that. But at the same time, we've got to let everyone know. Well,
and the reason we could have to have a situation like that is we've got a lot of hungry drivers out there.
Yeah, we sure do. We've got 22 cars on the lead lap right now.
Yes, we've got, and they're all wanting it. They're going to do everything within their powers.
Mario Goslin being scored as the final driver on the lead lap in 22nd position.
As always, the restart is the most critical time here for Bobby Gerhart. He wants to get through the transmission clean. He doesn't want to get too big a gap and allow Mark Mitchell and the guys behind him to have some momentum when they catch him.
A shootout of our own here on speed. It's Bobby Gerhart leading the field. He gets the green flag. He'll go up through the gears. Can he do it without making a mistake? We'll find out. Works his way through the tri-oval and has a great restart, but that could come back to haunt him.
He doesn't want to get too big a gap right there, but his car has been awfully strong. But if Jeremy Clements in the 3 car could pull right up on Mark Mitchell's bumper and they use the draft to catch Bobby Gerhart at the right time, it may be enough to propel them by him. We'll have to see.
It looks like Jeremy Clements, almost a little bit anxious, was about to move out by Mark Mitchell. Look at the bump drafting going on down the backstretch.
Damon lost the 55, pulls to the outside.
It looks like Kimmel's going to go with him. Now Jeremy Clement eases up the racetrack. They're side by side. Damon Lusk, Frank Kimmel on the outside. They're trying to get to the number 5 of Bobby Gerhart.
Now this is what Bobby Gerhart wants to look up in his mirror and see.
Side by side racing behind him.
Right behind him. He knows if they stay side by side, he's in great shape. But Mark Mitchell decided to stay with Bobby Gerhart right on the bottom.
Wendy, what's going on with these cars up front?
Well, the 93 of Mark Mitchell and Jeremy Clements in the 3 right behind him, they actually are teammates of sorts. The 93 is in the backup car of Jeremy Clements, so they, of course, they're going to work together, and this is what you need. Remember, we covered it at the top of the show. It's about who your friends are at this point.
And Wendy, David Reagan is out there by himself, the only Roush Racing development driver in the field, but Ruler Brothers have put a great car underneath him. This car had taken 4 tires under lap 30 pit stops. They're just waiting their time. Time is now, of course, but they've been waiting all day for their opportunity to get in the top 5. They've been hanging to this point. Let's see what they got.
Oh, we got problems. Damon Lusk comes down, a hard hit. The number 9 gets spun around. That's Tim Russell into the wall hard. Damon Lusk was trying to come down. Frank Kimmel was just behind him.
I saw that coming, didn't you, Kenny?
Well, I didn't see it, but when you grabbed my arm, I knew something was going on.
Hard hit for Tim Russell right there. That's Matt Hagan's number 9 car.
Also involved the 55 of Damon Lusk.
Such a good run going to Damon Lusk. He was trying to make something happen. He was in the top 5. He went to the outside. I thought was a good move. Frank went with him. Then they came off before right at the entrance to the tri-oval. They started squeezing down there, and there was some contact.
Well, we touched it. This was a possibility just a minute ago.
That's a great sign, seeing Tim Russell climb out of that. A very, very hard hit.
Kenny, you've got a little business to do tonight.
Guys, I've enjoyed the heck of it. I'm way too nervous up here watching. ARCA is going to make the decision to throw a little red flag here, so we Might probably get her cleaned up in the scheduled laps. But I got to go to the meeting for the shootout, so have fun up here.
Good luck tonight.
Okay.
Good luck, Kenny, and thank you again for joining us up here.
Thank you.
We'll watch your car for you, Kenny.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it any longer.
Good sign, Damon Lusk being able to get out of his 55 car. What a tough break for Damon. Had such a good run going. You can see the frustration. You work all winter long to get here, like we talked about at the very top of the show, and you're within sight of a top 5 finish here with 3-4 laps to go, and something like that happens. No matter whose fault it is, it's just so frustrating.
Again, Damon Lusk had gone to the outside, was trying to get that second line to run. Looked as though Frank Kimmel was going to join him out there. He ran behind the 55 of Damon Lusk, and then it looked as though Lusk decided, well, this one isn't running too well. I might want to get back down, and we'll take a look at what took place then.
See Damon, the 55, he's going to pull back down, and see Frank really couldn't go any lower because the 31 of Timothy Peters was on the inside. Damon probably didn't realize that it was going to make it a 3-wide situation. If Frank Kimmel had not had somebody on the inside of him, Damon would have been able to drive down like that. They would have had plenty of room. Here's another look at it. You see Timothy Peters at the very last instant sticks his nose up beside of Frank Kimmel, and that's where the contact came right there.
Also involved in that's the 65 of Justin Marks. Justin Marks, one of the drivers trying to compete for a championship this year in the ARCA Remax Series.
There's another hard hit. Thank goodness for the safer barriers. We touched on it earlier, Rick, and thank goodness for that. Here, going to get another look at it. You see Damon's coming down with the 55, and Frank gets squeezed in the middle, and there's a 65 right there with absolutely nowhere to go, Justin Marks.
Riding along, this is the 4 with Scott Lagacy, and that's what was taking place just behind him.
Here's Tim Russell right here. Let's see what his view. You see him right there, makes hard contact right into the safer barrier. Tough break. Remember now, all these guys are running in the top 10 inside of 5 laps to go at Daytona.
Everybody racing for position, wanting to have that top 10 finish, wanting to have that top 5 finish, doing whatever they can to get up toward the front.
You see all the damage right there. That's the right front spring right there. All that damage to Tim Russell's car.
I believe Jim Trado is caught up with a man who's a little bit in the know as to what's going on with our leader.
Yeah, it's Bobby Gerhardt's brother Billy, and I'm wondering about your strategies here. Your team is now asking, should you keep the motor on? And your driver's saying, what should we do? Keep it running? How close are we on fuel?
Well, we're close. You're always close here, but we just asked ARCA, and we're going to shut it off. If it won't restart, the rules allow us to push it. But I got to tell you, this Lucas Oil Chevrolet Eagle Warranty Chevy, man, what a car. These guys, Dave Liner, Dustin Driscoll, the whole gang, they built this race car, and I argued with them for a month and said, no way, guys, we're running the one we won with last year. And they finally overruled me. I'm glad they did. I think it's a better car than we had last year. What a piece of equipment. These guys have worked so hard. Bobby drove such a great race, and we're going to try to bring this thing home. You know, Mario beat us out of the pits with no tires, but that's not how you win this race.
Billy, you had friends before the race. You had 2 other cars in the field. Right now, you're kind of on an island. Any friends out there that are going to help you to the finish here?
I'll tell you what, that Mark Mitchell running second. What a job he's doing, a rookie. And his car seems to really work good with the Lucas Oil Chevy. So I think he's going to, you know, try to get a great finish here, and good for them guys. Just anxious to get this restart and get home.
I'm sure he is, guys. And that car he mentioned that he wanted to run here last year, it's in the hauler. Patches is the backup. Boy, what an effort they put together for 3 cars qualifying top 10. And Bobby, the brand new piece, running up front.
Very impressive. And Bobby Gerhardt obviously has a lot of success at this racetrack. He's won 4 times. As a matter of fact, the first win for Bobby Gerhardt at Daytona came back in 1999.
It looks a little wet.
Yeah, that was 02. That was 02 when he got his, that was his second win here. And that one shortened because of rain. Then in 2005, it was Bobby Gerhardt winning from the pole. And then he repeated that the following year, and that was last year, starting on the pole and winning the race for the 4th time. 4 fingers up in the air. Well, they'll have to hold 5 fingers up in the air if they're able to hold on to this position. Number 5, Chevy Monte Carlo out in front one more time at Daytona. They continue to clean the track. When it's cleaned, we'll have a shootout for the checkers. Speed's coverage of the ARCA Remax Series from Daytona is presented by Remax. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. Brought to you in part by Hardcore Motorsports, proud sponsor of the Hardcore Motorsports ARCA Safety Initiative. Lights are on. NASCAR race day again will follow immediately after the conclusion of this race when the checkers fly. We'll send you over to the boys and Wendy at NASCAR race day, built by the Home Depot. And again, the countdown continues to Thursday, the duels at Daytona on Speed. So make sure to keep your televisions tuned right here for all of the coverage of Speed Weeks. And again, the duels at Daytona on Thursday. We're going from red to yellow, so the yellow flag now out, and the cars begin to roll back around the racetrack as they've cleaned it off. Again, 76 laps complete. We have just 4 laps remaining. Wendy, what's going on with that team right behind Bobby Gerhart?
Well, I'm excited to get over to NASCAR race day, but I'm even more excited to watch the finish of this ARCA race. Let me tell you about the 93 of Mark Mitchell. If he were to win this race, it really would be a surprise for everyone. There's only 2 radios on the team, the crew chief and the spotter, including Mark Mitchell's 3 radios. Crew chief Rusty Clanton, I'm very surprised at how well you're running. Do you have a run for Bobby Gerhart?
Well, we're trying to hang on. I mean, hope we don't have no trouble with the debris on the tires, but Bart's done an excellent job. Ergon, we want to thank Ergon for coming on board. We got a 16 race schedule put together, so we're just wishing the best luck, you know.
This is actually a rental car of Jeremy Clements, and you and Mark Mitchell have been racing together for many years. Tell us about it quickly.
Well, I've raced against him as a competitor, and now I'm crew chiefing for him, and the boy's got a lot of talent.
And he sure does. Right now he's running second, and it was only his 2nd run here at Daytona. Jim?
Well, I'm going to check in with Frank Kimmel's pit, and his brother Bill's here in the pit area. We saw the incident on the racetrack. It appears your brother had nowhere to go, but more importantly, what's he said since then? Is there any damage on his 46?
Well, he didn't say not a whole lot of damage. He said he thought he had a hole there. He said Damon come across, he locked up the brakes, and he said he skidded across his right front fender, but not really sure how bad we've had anything hurt. I guess we'll find out when it starts again. He'll probably have to keep it hid. I don't know if we have anything to get back to the front at all, but had a real good race car. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot here in the pits today, but port fusion went off good all day long.
You guys had that issue about a possible tire vibration. What is it about Daytona? Is this a heavier weight now because you guys have come close so many times?
No, not really. I mean, that kind of went off our shoulders, I think, last year at Talladega. I mean, had a good car there. You know, Frank's won a lot of races, so, yeah, sure, we like to win here at Daytona, but it's been a whole lot easier this week because we're competitive again, so that makes it a whole lot more fun.
Thanks, Bill.
Again, the caution light's still on the pace car that's out in front of the field. We believe when they go by, those lights are going to go out, and they will be told 1 lap to go until we get the green, and at that time I believe they'll give us the green and white, so it will be a 1-lap race to the checkered. Phil.
That's right. We will try to finish this race in the prescribed distance, which is 80 laps. We're now just completing 78 laps. They're giving 1 to go, so they come back by to complete lap 79. It will be 1 lap of racing to go to try to finish this thing, and we're gonna have to wait and see if Mark Mitchell or Jeremy Clements or any of these guys have anything for Bobby Gerhart. Remember, this restart is going to be the most vulnerable time for him, and we're going to see if these guys gang up on him.
Yeah, and that's, you know, exactly right. Ken Schrader made the comment earlier that's really the most important time for Gerhart, because he has got to not make a mistake. He can't make any mistakes out in front of this field, going through the gears, getting up to speed, because this is it.
And he's got to concentrate. He's got to watch that mirror. He's got to watch Mark Mitchell's hands behind him. If Mark Mitchell looks like he's going to the outside, then Bobby Gerhart needs to keep his car right in front of Mark Mitchell's car. He just wants to be right smack in front of Mark Mitchell's car, and that way he can't pass him.
Well, and Mark Mitchell has to really feel like this is almost a victory for him. I mean, in only his 2nd ARCA race, running 2nd to really the Daytona king in the ARCA series, Bobby Gerhart.
And that's another thing in Bobby Gerhart's corner, because he knows that Mark Mitchell's behind him. And Mark Mitchell, I'm sure right now, if you said you're going to finish second at Daytona, he would be ecstatic. So he has to feel like Bobby Gerhart. He's obviously in the driver's seat. He's got the advantage, but he has to be clean. He has to not make any mistakes.
And you can't forget about Jeremy Clements in the number 3, David Reagan in the 39, or Scott Lagasse Jr. in that number 4. Those are the top 5, and any one of those drivers would love to say they have won a race at Daytona. Well, this is it. The final 2.5 miles of the ARCA 200.
Look at Timothy Peters, that black car. Watch him lay back right there. Now, ARCA should not allow him to do that. Let's see if he can time it right, though, and get a run.
As they come through the gears, the green and white flag in the air. It's Bobby Gerhart going through the gears. Mark Mitchell right behind him. Jeremy Clements, David Reagan, Scott Lagasse Jr. Your top 5. Then it's Timothy Peters trying to get that jump. Let's see if it works out for him. As they go into turn number 1, a little contact. Jeremy Clements in the back of Mark Mitchell.
They get them all seized up there. That's going to keep them all behind Bobby Gerhart.
And look at the run Frank Kimmel's having on the outside. Down the back stretch they go, trying to come up through the gears.
Remember, this is the same car that Frank Kimmel won at Talladega with.
Kimmel on the outside. He's got no help. He starts to drift back. It's Gerhart, Mark Mitchell, 1 and 2, nose to tail. Can Mark Mitchell make anything happen in the final 3 and 4? Bobby Gerhart out to a 2-car lead as he works his way through 4 into the tri-oval, and it will be number 5 for Bobby Gerhart. Gerhart winning at Daytona again.
What a great job by Bobby Gerhart. He put so much emphasis on this race, even though he runs for the championship, and he gets his 5th win here.
Unbelievable run. 5 wins for Bobby Gerhart at Daytona. As Bobby Gerhart brings the car to a little bit slower speed, we will talk to him tonight at 10:30. So Bobby Gerhart, our winner at Daytona for the first race of the season. Now, NASCAR race day.